Hello everybody, this is SB, also known as Mr. Google, and welcome back to my next video. Today I wanted to talk to you about the Razer Deathadder. I will be going to show you guys this in a live product review. I've kept the box so that I just was able to show you guys how it would look like when you get it in the box. For a quick overview, it's from the Essential lineup. It's basically a marketing thing, so let's get to the product itself. Well, the first thing I'd like to say is I have been using this mouse for about 4 months now. Before that I was using the Razer Naga. I used to play World of Warcraft and this mouse was perfectly capable of doing that, but after a while I also played a lot of first-person shooter games, so I went back to this mouse first. It's the Logitec G9, also a very nice mouse to use, but I really wanted to have more DPI so I could turn up the sensitivity a lot. Well, that led to the result to come to the Razer Deathadder 2013 version. Well, what is the difference between the previous version of the Deathadder from 2006 to, for let's say, this version? Well, the first thing I can say, it's mostly visual, but there's also one thing which is different. I will try to zoom in to show you guys. The first thing which is different is the rubber side grips, which is on the left side, and you can also find this on the right side. Well, what this will do is if you place your mouse on your mouse mat or either on the table, which I will not recommend, if you place your hand like this, it will clearly fit the rubberized dome stuff. So yes, that works wonders for me. If you want to lift your mouse up sometimes, most people do that, not everybody does that, you can perfectly do so. Well, one of the main advantages of this mouse is that the buttons on the side, for example, they are really nice to access with your thumb. Well, what I'd like to do is, for example, I try to place, when I'm playing, for example, Call of Duty or Battlefield, I will place my thumb on this button to reload, or either to swap weapons. For example, once you are out of bullets and you have to place that last bullet in someone, you're rather, instead of moving your left hand from the mouse and keyboard to swap weapons, you don't have to do that. You can still keep moving with your left hand and then switch weapons with your right hand, which is, to me, is one of the best things, or one of the things where I really want to use a gaming mouse for. So let's get to one of the things I really miss about this mouse, which is extra buttons. Yes, I know, this is a mouse with just 2 side buttons, and the reason why I picked this mouse is because it's a larger fit in your hand. I really like to rest my whole palm on this mouse, so that's more comfortable for me. But what happens if I try to place a reload, a switch weapon, and let's say, for example, activate a score streak with Call of Duty games or other games, or switch your profiles? Well, that's just 1 or 2 buttons I sometimes miss, comparing it to the, for example, the Razer Naga. The Razer Naga, for example, has 2 buttons over here which are nice to use for profile switching with your mouse, for example. With the Razer Deathadder I use a very high DPI in Call of Duty Ghost and then turn the sensitivity down all to 0, but for Battlefield I'll just prefer switching to 1000 DPI. Well, that's all personal preference, but you can work around this negative by using Razer Synapse software. I will show you guys a little bit of that as well. I will copy and paste that in my commentary as well. So, as promised, I was going to show you a little bit about the Razer Synapse software. So far I really like this, just because I use more than one Razer device and I sometimes use them on a Mac as well. What this basically does for you, this software, is it will remember all your gaming profiles. For example, I have a Razer Arctosa keyboard, a Deathadder, a Nostromo, and my old Razer Naga, which I haven't used on this computer yet. But what it will basically do is it will remember one of your email addresses and put your settings in the cloud. Well, let's get to the Deathadder as promised. So I can show you guys what you can change. Well, as you can see, there is clearly a picture over here of your Deathadder, and you can adjust your buttons right over here. You can swap them around if you want to do that. I will keep my right click on the default, but let's get to the important stuff. Let me see. Here you can change all of your sensitivity in DPI. So if I wanted to have 6400 DPI and my mouse will go all crazy in the desktop, I can do that. Not recommended, but hey, maybe perhaps you want to do that, so please do that if you want to. Another thing which basically comes out of the box on acceleration 5, please turn it down to 0. Nobody, or at least almost nobody, wants acceleration of their mouse cursor when you're aiming or just clicking somewhere. Another thing you can change over here, you can switch between 3 different polling rates. Polling rate is the frequency of data updates in the device in hertz. So 1000 will mean 1000 updates per second. I will just keep him like how it was, but another thing you can do as well is you can put on or off the lighting on your mouse, so it will turn off, or on, I will just keep it on, or the logo. Another thing you can do is you can change the liftoff range. Basically what it will do is it will change when your mouse will react when you're moving it upwards and placing it somewhere else down on your mouse mat. And if you are using Razer mouse mats, you can select your Razer mat right over here, so you can adjust it and calibrate it to your specific Razer mouse. So let's get back to the mouse and my conclusion for this mouse. So if you also want a right-handed mouse, which is also compatible with a MacBook, then I could really recommend this. This is one of the cheapest Razer mouse, and it's considered by most of the players the best because of the optical sensor. So as always guys, thank you for watching. I will hopefully see you next time.